Okay, so before we begin, I have a bit of a cold, and I am actually late to recording this because I was so ill the last couple of days, but here I am. Let's finally review Megalopolis or whatever. Oh, I can't swear in the first... Oh, I can't. Demonetization. So I'm not sure about this new update with these pale gardens and this new creaking mob. Like, it just seems that we're getting a bit too many wood types too fast in Minecraft at the moment. Oh, hang on, wait, am I a Minecraft YouTuber or am I... What am I? Sorry, I forgot what my purpose was. Oh wait, no, Megalopolis review. Oh, I'm a film reviewer. Yeah, that's it. I thought I was one of the good ones then. Megalopolis. I'm dying and I'm here to give you a review even though I don't feel well. Right, before anything else is said, if you haven't seen this movie yet, and you want to see it, go into it as blind as possible with knowing as little as possible, because I think that's the best way that you'll get a amusing time from it. Because this film is an experience, to say the least. It's something, I'll just say that. Anyway, on to the review. Megalopolis is the new movie from Francis Ford Coppola, who is the acclaimed director of The Godfather and Apocalypse Now, and he also directed a film called The Conversation, which is also absolutely poggers. Oh god, why did I use that word? No, it's a really good film, The Conversation. It's really good. Perfect 70s conspiracy theory paranoia film. Amazing. Apparently, Coppola has wanted to make this film since 1977, where he first got the idea. The reason it took this long to be made comes down to a whole array of different reasons. Francis Ford Coppola was in debt to Hollywood for a long time after a lot of financial bombs. It was also just hard to get such a huge project financed, obviously. A certain 2001 incident made it quite a difficult thing to make a film that has such a heavy emphasis on the gloriousness of a metropolis like New York. And then when it did go into production, COVID struck and then delayed the project even further. In other words, he's a lazy bastard and he should have pulled a finger out and just made a goddamn movie already. Look how many movies Marvel made in that time. So many, it's like 30. They made 30 pieces of kino and this guy can't even make one movie. What a fucking idiot. Coppola allegedly also shot things in a very free-flowy, improvisational way where there was no tight script, no solid idea for what a scene was supposed to be about. They sort of just felt the vibe on the day, apparently. Kind of like a David Lynch kind of deal, I guess. But regardless, that is enough information, that's enough context. What did I think of this movie?
Entitles me?
Yes.
Entitles me?
Yes.
Entitles me?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't like this movie. I tried to like it. I tried to hear it out. I tried to like see what it wanted to say, you know, like listen to it. Like, what are you going for here? I spent 2 hours trying to hear it out. I was like, what are you trying to accomplish? Why this juxtaposition between old Rome and modern metropolis like New York? Why this mixture? Why this motif of modern versus old? Because it's a very interesting motif, to say the least. It's a very interesting visual. It felt like it was going for something grandiose, but there were no concrete or fully realised themes that I could pick up on, at least. The first area where this film failed me was in the acting and dialogue, because that's a very important component to get right if you want me to get invested. I can think of no good performances from this film. I can think of a lot of bad ones. I can think of a lot of unintentionally funny ones. At the best of times, there are performances that are serviceable, but that's about it. For the first hour or so, one thing that kept bugging me was just how vacuous the characters felt. Like, they just had this coldness to them. They were just ideas rather than people. I just really didn't like it. I'm mainly talking about Adam Driver and Nathalie Emmanuel's characters here because they were the main leads. With Driver, I think he was doing the best he could with the material he was given, but that dialogue was just too awful. It's all pseudo-intelligent philosophical ramblings trying to embody the sensibilities of ancient Greek scripture. I really like Adam Driver as an actor and I was rooting for him to be ace in this, but he just has nothing to work with. Nathalie Emmanuel, on the other hand, just gave a bad performance outright. She's got a very flat screen presence. You can constantly hear her English accent seeping through. The American accent that she does is constantly changing. Like, sometimes it's just normal American accent and at other times it goes into this 1930s dame kind kind of thing. I do feel kind of sorry for her because since Game of Thrones ended, this was one of her biggest opportunities to make her mark on the industry. I always thought her acting was quite contrived in Game of Thrones, but she was still handed a shite deal here. So I felt nothing on behalf of these main characters, nothing on behalf of any of the characters really. The film is honestly quite cold and emotionless, and it's just empty philosophical pastiche. The dialogue was going for this larger-than-life Shakespearean blend, which did not work for me. I found it alienating and just perturbing to the ears. Like, sometimes it works to present characters as concepts rather than people, but can we just make them a bit human, please? Just present them as human beings first and foremost.
You have no idea about me. You think I am nothing? Just a socialite?
The film has a ridiculously star-studded cast. It's honestly so bloated. I'll just read it off now. So you got Adam Driver, Giancarlo Esposito, Aubrey Plaza, Dustin Hoffman, Jon Voight, Sheila Booth, Jason Schwartzman, Lawrence Fishburne, and that's just a few of them. They're the main ones. And that's just a lot of wasted talent in my eyes. Aubrey Plaza is given a lot of screen time, which may have been a fine thing, but she's doing this weird SNL shtick, this comedic performance that just doesn't fit the tone of the movie at all.
You're on my territory now, and you're gonna play by my rules.
You have this supposedly grandiose work of cinema, like this artist's vision, and then you just have Aubrey Plaza behaving like she's back in Parks and Rec or some shit. It's certainly interesting to watch for just how perplexing it is, but it's not good. It's like if Aziz Ansari just showed up in silence. It's not that bad, because Aziz Ansari is like the fucking pits of the earth, awful, one of the fucking most annoying pieces of shit imaginable. Aubrey Plaza is a good actress, but the more she moves away from that Parks and Rec gimmicky thing, the better her career will be, in my opinion. And then there's Jon Voight, who's clearly taking the piss. I mean, he must have been. I hope he was. Or he's just senile. He's this cartoonish oaf, but not in any convincing or satirical way. Again, it's like he's doing some hollow SNL performance. All this time I haven't seen this actor do anything, and he returns for this, like, oh, what's this legend doing? Oh, great. Lawrence Fishburne supplies a meaningless and dreary narration that bored the pants off me every time I heard it. Insanely dull to listen to. I was just like, oh, not again.
Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis.
Jason Schwartzman, who's apparently Francis Ford's nephew, which is kind of like interesting trivia, he doesn't do that much, to be fair. He's underutilized. Dustin Hoffman is just there, and he does literally fuck all. Like, why is he here? Giancarlo Esposito and Adam Driver were fine. I'd say they gave serviceable performances, non-shitty performances, but again, did not gravitate to their characters in the slightest. And then, of course, we have Shia LaBeouf, and I tell you, this is the most Shia LaBeouf movie ever created. Like, of course he's in this. After Nymphomaniac, after He Will Not Divide Us. He's a good actor, but he's also just a fucking joke. Like, I agree with Sam Hyde. This guy is not a real artist. At least with the things he's doing to claim that he's an artist. So Shia is awful in this film, but thankfully he's awful in a hilarious way, like so bad it's good. I got a lot of entertainment from this film because of that. Like, there's one bit where he's got this megaphone and he goes, "Shut the fuck up!" and it's just like typical fucking Shia LaBeouf. Also, they make him become this radical figure, and there's all this crass Nazi imagery, and it's not even metaphorical because they literally have him stand on an actual swastika, so it's like, okay. I will say that as pretentious films go, this is definitely one of the funnier pretentious films. Like, there's a lot of entertainment value that's unintended. My theatre were giggling a lot at things that clearly weren't designed to be funny. I think it was just the sheer randomness of events because it's a very loose structure, and also the execution of things. There are some bonkers technical decisions in here. There's a scene where Giancarlo Esposito finds out that his daughter's pregnant, and it's edited with perfect comedic timing. I don't know if it was intentional, but the scene goes like, "Oh, by the way, I'm pregnant," and it cuts to him and he goes, "What?" like really quickly, and it cuts away and it's perfect. It's like, what? It's like, it's so funny, and the whole theatre laughed at that as well. Because obviously, why wouldn't you? There's another bit where Adam Driver has been injured and he has this sort of unrobing moment, and he seems to like be wearing this sort of makeshift Indian robe. He looks like some Indian philosopher. And when you see this appearance of his, he like duplicates into 5 different faces like Scott Pilgrim or something, and this weird Indian jingle like like plays, like the most stock Indian sound you could think of. It's like, you know, the Chinese one where it's like like ridiculous. So yeah, the audience pissed themselves at that too. Something else happened involving a boner that wasn't really a boner, it was actually a concealed weapon, and then deaths happen. Someone's murdered, 2 people are injured at least. Yeah, that was ridiculous, insane, like how am I supposed to take that? But I'm glad it's in here. I am an honest and fair man, and I will give credit where credit is due, and there were moments in this film, like comedic moments, that were supposed to be comedic, and they did a good job at being funny. Honestly, these were the only times where I gained intentional entertainment from the film. There's this witty scene between Driver and his mother, where his mother's just treating him like shit, and that's funny. There's this fourth wall-breaking line delivery from Fishburne, which I thought was dry and cool, I guess. Splitting hairs, aren't we? And yeah, that's about it in terms of positives. There are a lot of fit women in this film, I gotta say. I mean, a lot of 20-year-old women. And that is a very shallow thing to say, I know, but when like left with nothing else when you're watching a film, your mind just goes to like whatever entertainment it can, like, oh, hot women, yay, okay, I'm just gonna look at that because I'm bored. Yeah, because all men are just animals anyway. Primitive, booby brain. Basically, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. But honestly, though, it is kind of weird that, you know, Francis Ford, he's got to be like, I don't know how old he is, but he's quite old, you know, senior man, senior director, and he's got all of these, like, young 20-year-olds. Some of you even feel like they're 18 almost, like, bordering on just legal. And he's got, like, so many of them just all here. And again, it's like ties into the hedonism of like the world he's presenting here, but still it's just like, apparently he like had them sit on his lap during takes or something to like get them in the mood, get them all like frolicky, you know, like make them feel like they're in some Roman party kind of environment.
Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis.
There's definitely a Neil Breen, The Room-esque quality to this film where you can laugh at it. I'm not really that kind of person though, like I'm not hipster enough. I went into this wanting to see a good movie, like let's actually try here, shall we? I was trying to take it seriously initially and it was just wasting my time. But again, my audience was loving it. There was this one girl next to me who just kept giggling at almost everything that happened.
Listen.
Why is it presenting this juxtaposition between old Rome and modern New York, you may ask? Well, it is clearly going for this monumental fable type of vibe. It literally calls itself a fable. It's probably trying to say stuff about the hedonism of today's celebrity culture and how it's similar to the hedonism of old Rome. It's also trying to be this Shakespearean retelling of classic archetypes, but just told in a contemporary setting, because whenever you do that, it's instantly profound. Unfortunately, though, the juxtaposition just reminded me of Baz Luhrmann movies, like it was just a gimmick. A lot of artists like doing this, they like likening their projects to these timeless works of ancient Greece and so on, but when you have so little to say, it's just boring. Just go watch Oh Brother Where Art Thou, that is a retelling of Homer's Odyssey, which actually works. The Coen brothers can just pull something like that off. Like No Country for Old Men is essentially a modern work of timeless storytelling. That's a truly original modern fable. Like, that's an immense movie. Renowned directors like Coppola also like to make these swan song, partially autobiographical works where there's this self-insert artist character and he's in the midst of this penultimate epic. Adam Driver is this tortured, misunderstood, innovative Caesarean artist who I'm sure Coppola likens himself to, at least subconsciously. Similar to Driver's character, Coppola is trying to make this immense work of magnificence with this huge movie. There's all this drama and controversy surrounding its creation, like he's literally living the life of the Catalina character from the film. Just let me make this, it'll change everything. Like, no it won't. What I'm doing here is so far beyond your comprehension. Like, in a way I kind of admire that. I admire the boldness. All of the antagonists of this film, that's probably how he perceives his critics.
Megalopolis. Megalopolis, 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 Megalopolis.
There is, however, one possible theory that might explain all of this, because whilst I was watching the film, there were so many moments that made me go, okay, hang on a minute, is this a joke? Like, so many times did I get the sense it was taking the piss. Is this just one big parody of an overly ambitious, pretentious piece of shit conceived by a washed-up director who's out of touch and full of himself? This film is such a perfect, quintessential example of a pretentious blunder that part of me does think that it was intentional. And if so, that kind of makes it genius in a way. Well, not genius, but clever, at least. One giant shitpost, like, fuck it, I made Godfather, I never need to prove myself to anyone ever again. Like, he did make Godfather, like, you don't even need to do anything after that, and he made another Godfather that was just as good, and then Apocalypse Now, which people cite as like the best Vietnam film ever made. And the conversation's also Kino. There is so much funny shit in this film, so much to clown on, that it makes one wonder, is this all just a ruse, a joke, a meme?
From visionary writer and director Francis Ford Coppola.
Conclusion, conclusion, conclusion. Overall, however, regardless of potential theories, this was mainly just a fucking bore. I'm not hipster enough to be like, this movie's so random and weird, like, what the heck, I got so much entertainment value, wow, oh my god, I can just watch, it's my favourite movie, I'm just gonna watch it every day. I'm not that kind of person. I actually wanted this film to be good, goddammit. I tried to fuck with this film's themes, I actively tried to engage with it and take it seriously, but it gave me nothing. It's a pretentious, self-insert swan song movie that doesn't live up to the profundity that it insists upon itself, full of crass allegories and parallels that were uninteresting. Even if there was a notable message buried in there, it still doesn't matter because the overall presentation and storytelling was awful. The execution sucks, the acting sucks, the dialogue sucks, the special effects look uninspired and unpolished. I don't care if this film was going for a German expressionist, intentionally fake and bombastic vibe, it's still crap. Just go watch Metropolis, just go watch that again. But also, Francis, kind of based if you made this as a joke. What does that say, you little fucking shit? What the fuck does that say? Thanks to the patrons, thank you Matt Delaney, thank you Mason Lydon, thank you DF. Your support means the world. It is insane that you pay money towards a fraud like me, but honestly, no, sincerely, that is amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving your hard-earned money to someone who's just, yeah, whatever. Stop with the self-deprecation, yeah, thank you.